Top 10 Montreal Canadiens goalies in my lifetime. I'll tell you which goalies made my list, and you might be surprised at who made the top guy. And that's all right here at Talking Habs with me, Rick. If you love the Habs like I do, subscribe and ring the notifications bell to get all my videos, live streams, and podcast news dedicated to the Habs and all things hockey. And leave any comments down below. Okay, so I was born in 1963, and in the 56 years since then, the Montreal Canadiens have had some great goalies, some bad goalies, and everything in between. From Red Light Racicot all the way up to the likes of Patrick Roy and Carey Price. These are the top 10 goalies of my lifetime. I've seen all of these goalies play either live or on TV, save for one, who played for the Habs for 10 years prior to my birth into this world and was traded shortly after. If you disagree with any of my picks, let me know in the comments down below and give a thumbs up if you like this video. Okay, let's go right into it. Number 10, Tony Esposito. Tony O was the first hockey player, let alone goalie, that I loved. He made spectacular saves with his glove and his blocker, his stick, or stacking the pads. He could flip and flop around with the best. He played his first pro season in Montreal before being traded to Chicago, where he'd spend the rest of his long career. In 1969, he played 13 games. He went 5-4-4, 275 goals against average, and a .919 save percentage, with 2 shutouts. I believe he was traded during the season that he played, and he was because he only played 13 games, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1988. His career numbers were 886 games played, 423 wins, 306 losses, 152 ties, not overtime or shootout losses, they're ties, 76 shutouts, a .293 goals against, and a .906 save percentage. At number 9, it's not one goalie, we have a tandem. Excuse me. The tandem of Rick Walmsley and Richard Sevigny. And no, not because they're both named Rick or Richard. That's not why I picked them. From 1981 to 1984, we had these 2 goalies that made a great goalie tandem. They were 2 good, not great, goalies that worked well together and basically split games between them evenly. Basically, they gave good, solid play in an area where goals against averages were higher and save percentages were lower. Walmsley played 131 games in his 4 years here with a record, of 72 wins, 36 losses, and 16 ties, a .329 goals against average, and an .876 save percentage. He went on to play for St. Louis and Calgary and finished up in Toronto. I think in Toronto he didn't play very much. His career numbers were 407 games played, 204 wins, 131 losses, 46 ties, 334 goals against, and an .881 save percentage. You see what I mean by those were really different. Sevigny played 5 seasons here with 141 games played, 67 wins, 41 losses, 17 ties, 310 goals against, and .887 save percentage. He went on to play 3 more seasons in Quebec, playing in only 35 games and finishing his career there. So for Sevigny, his best years were in Montreal, and that tandem brought out the best in him. Number 8, Michel Bunny Larocque. Bunny Larocque got his nickname from his mother as a child, and it stuck. He backed up Dryden for 6 of his 8 seasons in Montreal and was good at his job. I don't remember him being flashy and spectacular, but he was a solid, steady goalie, posting good numbers and not complaining about his limited playing time. He averaged, and this was a surprise, I thought it would be less, he averaged 33 games played over 8 seasons. He went on to play for Toronto, Philadelphia, and St. Louis before retiring in 1984 with career numbers of 312 games played, 160 wins, 89 losses, 45 ties, 334 goals against, and an .882 save percentage. He died kind of tragically in 1992 at the age of 40 from brain cancer. Pretty sad, and I remember that. Number 7, Andy Moog. Moog played just one season in Montreal, 1998. He played for Edmonton, Boston, Dallas, and finished up here in Montreal. A great goalie with a long career. He put up good totals in his final season, 42 games played, 18 wins, 17 losses, 5 ties, 249 goals against, and a .905 save percentage. I remember Moog more for beating Montreal in 1983 playoffs when he just stole the series almost single-handedly. And I think it was a 5-game series, and they beat us in 3. And Moog was fantastic. It was the year before they went on to win the Cup, I believe. Number 6, Rogie Vachon. Rogie started his career in Montreal and played 5 full seasons. Traded to LA in the 1971-72 season after playing only 1 game. I was in kindergarten. And even at that young age, that was all we talked about in school that day. And at home, that was all we talked about. And that may have been the day my Habs fandom started. All the excitement made me into a Habs fan. I liked the Blackhawks before that, as you can tell by Tony Esposito. But yeah. Vachon was a great goalie, but Montreal had to make room for their outstanding rookie named Ken Dryden. Vachon went on to a great career with LA and Detroit, and ending his career in Boston in 1982 with good numbers and competitive right up to the end. With Montreal, he posted 206 games played, 108 wins, 58 losses, 31 ties, a .265 goals against, and a .913 save percentage. His career numbers were 795 games played, 353 wins, 293 losses, 128 ties, a .300 goals against, and an .896 save percentage. Number 5, elected to the Hall of Fame in 1980. He won 4 cups with Montreal in 1965 and 66, and 68 and 69. Lorne Gump Worsley. The Gumper was in net for Montreal for my first ever game at the Forum. I don't remember if it was 69 or 70, but it was against the California Golden Seals. I remember my brother and I laughing at how short his hair was. Remember, I was young then. He arrived in Montreal after 10 years with the New York Rangers. He was involved in trying to get the first union up, and they traded him to Montreal because of that. The Gumper was a truly great goalie. His nickname came from his looking like a comic book character named Andy Gump. His friends, when he was young, nicknamed him that. He played all but the last 6 games of his career without a mask. That was amazing. He played right up into the end without a mask. He was eccentrical and known for his sense of humor. He won the Calder Trophy in 1953, playing for the last place New York Rangers. His Montreal totals were 172 games played, 90 wins, 41 losses, 24 ties, a .240 goals against, and a .914 save percentage with 16 shutouts. His career of 21 years was 860 games played, 333 wins, 348 losses. He played for some bad teams. 149 ties. A 237, I'm not sure if it's 287 goals against, and a .914 save percentage with 43 shutouts. Not bad. Number 4, Hall of Fame, elected to the Hall of Fame in 1978. Vezina winner from 56 to 60. 5 cups in a row from 56 to 60. And 6 cups in total. And that belongs to Jacques Claude. Jacques Claude played his last season as a Hab in 1963, so he qualifies here, the year I was born. I never saw him play live. A truly great goalie. He was innovative. He invented the goalie mask. And durable. He played 19 NHL seasons and 1 in the WHA for Edmonton. He was the first goalie to go behind the net to stop the puck. He perfected the stand-up positional style, cutting down the angles, and was one of the first goalies to ever write a book about the position. He pioneered stick handling the puck for goalies. He invented the mask and first used it after getting hit in the face and requiring stitches. He then refused to go back in the game unless he could wear the mask. And I think it was Dick Irvin Sr. that was the coach, and he didn't want that mask. But In those days, I think there was only one goalie on the team, and when he got hurt, you had to wait till he came back out, and they needed him to come back out, so he gave in. So he wore the mask, and history was changed in hockey forever after that. His Montreal totals are 556 games played, 314 wins, 133 losses, and 107 ties. A .222 goals against average, and a .920 save percentage with 58 shutouts. His career, he had 837 games played, 437 wins, 246 losses, 145 ties, a .238 goals against, and a .920 save percentage with 82 shutouts. Now to the top three. Number 3, Hall of Fame elected in 1983. 6 cups, 5 Vezina trophies, 6 All-Star appearances. Career numbers of 397 games played, 258 wins, and 57 losses. Imagine that. Plus 74 ties. 46 shutouts and a .224 goals against and a .922 save percentage. And that belongs to Ken Dryden. Debuting in March 1971 at home against the Sabres and his brother Dave in the other net. The first and only time that's happened in NHL history for goalies. Played only 6 games before becoming the playoff starter and winning the Cup and Conn Smythe Trophy as MVP of the playoffs. He'd go on to win 5 more Cups in his 8-year career, all with Montreal, including 4 in a row from 1976 to 79. I saw them all. He won a Conn Smythe and Stanley Cup before he lost his first regular season game and was still a rookie the following season and won the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year. A big goalie for his day at 6'4", he was known as the 4-story goalie, and Phyllis Esposito once called him that thieving giraffe. One of, if not the, greatest goalies of his era, iconically known for resting his chin on the top of his stick during fights and delays of the game. There's a statue in front of the Bell Center depicting just that. He was the goalie when I first started watching Montreal, and I love Ken Dryden. Number 2. And please, be kind to me here. The all-time Habs wins leader, Carey Price. If Price had a Stanley Cup ring or 2, he would be number 1. The most calm and cool goalie I've ever seen. His acrobatic, jaw-dropping ability to make saves that leave you shaking your head in wonder. The quickest reflexes I've ever seen. When Carey Price is on his game, he is the best goalie on the planet, and maybe best ever. I wasn't a Halak guy in the day and always believed in Price. He's a calming presence and brings out the best in the team in front of him because they know he can stop anything. If any goalie in Montreal's history deserves a cup more than Price, I can't think of his name. I'll probably take some heat for not putting Carey at number 1, but having not won a cup yet makes a difference. Hopefully that will change soon. I hope so. His career numbers of 624 games, 321 wins, 225 losses, 68 overtime losses or shootout losses, 44 shutouts, 247 goals against, and a .918 save percentage. And number 1, Hall of Fame elected in 2006, 4 Stanley Cups, 2 for Montreal, 2 for the Habs. 3-time Conn Smythe Trophy winner, 5 Jennings trophies, 3 Vezina trophies, 6 All-Star Game appearances. And we have Patrick Roy, with his rookie season in 1986, Vezina winner, Calder winner, Conn Smythe winner, and Stanley Cup winner. Patty Roy was on the scene. In the playoffs against the Rangers in the final, his performance was breathtaking. He repeated that performance in 1993 with the Vezina and Smythe trophies, and of course the Cup. He won 10 consecutive overtime games, and I think 11 or 12 overall, in that playoffs, and that iconic wink at Thomas Sandstrom of the Los Angeles Kings after robbing him blind with an amazing save. In Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, the first goalie I would want in nets from any era would be Patrick Roy, the NHL's best ever money goalie of all time. And because of that, my pick for number 1, Habs goalie from my lifetime. Long video. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe and ring the notifications bell to get all of my Habs dedicated content and live stream and podcast news for your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. Join me Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Saturday Night Hockey Talk live stream. And leave any comments down below. And I think that's it. So go Habs go! And bye, y'all.